Hi there, this is Bruno from Spainguru.es, your portal and community for Spanish immigration. Today we're gonna talk about whether is it possible to work remotely on a non-lucrative visa in Spain. This is a very hot and controversial topic, and we're gonna go through it in this video. In the Spainguru Facebook group that you can join today, I'm sharing the link below. One question that has been coming up consistently is whether it's possible to work remotely while on a non-lucrative visa. As the term non-lucrative suggests, it is not possible to work for a Spanish employer while living on a non-lucrative residency, commonly referred to as NLV. However, whether you can do work for a foreign employer is a gray area, and there is a lot of misinformation out there about it. In this post and video, I hope to shed some light on the current situation. The good news is that as of 2021, the law does not explicitly prohibit remote work on a non-lucrative residency, and this happens also in 2022. And many people are currently in Spain doing exactly this. However, if this is your plan, there are several important things to keep in mind when deciding if this is the right type of residency for you. At the end of this article, we also provide some information on alternative visas you might consider depending on your situation. What is a Spanish non-lucrative visa? Spain's non-lucrative visa is a type of visa created for non-EU citizens who have enough economic means to stay in the country, without the need for a Spanish work permit. This visa type allows you to bring your family with you, although in that case the economic means requirements are higher. This permit gives you initial residence authorization, allowing you to stay in Spain for 1 year after entering the Spanish territory. Then you will be able to renew the NLV every 2 years under the same conditions, until reaching eligibility for long-term residency after 5 years. Upon obtaining long residency, you would no longer have any restrictions on the type of work activity that you can do in Spain. The most notable characteristic of non-lucrative residency is that it does not come with work permission. However, it is a very popular visa type because it has very few other requirements besides demonstrating economic means. You do not need a work offer, you do not need to present a business plan or to invest in the country, as is the other case for some other visa types. You only need to prove that you have sufficient funds and that your stay in the country will not create costs for the government. In case you need health insurance that is compliant with NLV applications, Spainguru has recommended partners for this. Who is a Spanish non-lucrative visa suited for? 1. Those who want to retire in Spain, and 2. Non-retirees who have sufficient economic funds to support themselves in the country without the need to work for at least the first year in Spain. As explained later in this article, it is possible to apply for a modification to work residency after 1 year. What are the requirements for the NLV? The non-lucrative visa is a very popular visa type because the application is fairly simple, assuming you meet the requirements. This is the official list of documentation required, and this is a link in the blog post which I'm sharing below in the description of this video. However, the best source of information on these requirements is your local consulate, as each consulate's interpretation can vary slightly or a lot. That said, here is a summary of the main requirements. General eligibility means that you are a non-EU citizen who is in good standing, not in an irregular immigration situation, and not banned from Spain or the EU. Second, having no criminal record in Spain or previous places of residency. Usually you need to show background checks from anywhere you have lived in the past 5 years. Third, proof of sufficient economic means to support yourself and your family members for 1 year. This can come from passive income, such as investments or retirement, or from savings. For a single person, the minimum amount you must prove to have is 4 times the current year's IPREM, which is the Indicador Público de Renta de Efectos Múltiples. As of 2021, that amount is little over 27,000 euros. Proof of private healthcare coverage, to show you will not create a burden on the Spanish social security system. The insurance you purchase must offer equivalent coverage to the public system and not to have any copays. Spainguru recommends this health insurance that complies with all the requirements of NLV visa application. There you can find the link. And a medical note stating that you don't suffer any illness that could pose a threat to the public health. Keep in mind that once you acquire the required visa application documents, certain ones must be translated into Spanish by an official certified translator or sworn translator, who will certify that the translations are accurate. You can find also translator recommendations on Spainguru, here are the link, who can provide the translation by mail or PDF. Make sure to check with the consulate on what really needs to be translated, as the cost for an official translation can be 60 euros or more per page. TransferWise is actually a good option for making payments abroad to translators, now called Wise. Also, remember that you will need time to get certain documents, such as a background check, apostille, before you translate them. For Americans, check out our article on how to get an FBI background check in 2 weeks instead of 6. Why is there so much confusion on whether it's possible to do remote work on a non-lucrative visa? Before 2019, remote work income was often accepted as a legitimate income source when approving non-lucrative visas. However, rumor has it that sometime in 2019, soon after a government change in Spain, a memo was sent to consulates advising them to no longer accept any type of work income when considering non-lucrative visa applications. Even today, not all consulates interpret these recommendations the same way. However, the result is that many non-lucrative visas for remote workers have been denied since 2019, especially by consulates in the US. So, how are remote workers still coming to Spain with this type of visa? While the requirements for the visa are now being interpreted more strictly, this hasn't impacted the way the law is being enforced once in Spain. The Spanish Supreme Court ruling, link in the article, appears to be the current legal precedent on this issue. It's a long document, but the gist is that the person in question had a business in Russia that he was suspected to be working for, and the court ruled that it was not grounds to revoke his non-lucrative residency. The ruling states: no es que el solicitante de este tipo de visados no realice trabajo alguno, sino que no lo realice en España, which translates to, it is not that the applicant for this type of visa cannot carry out any work, but that he cannot carry out in Spain. Today there are thousands of remote workers residing in Spain who continue to do remote work as non-lucrative visa residents. However, when applying for a non-lucrative visa today, it is important not to include remote work as an income source on the visa application. At many consulates, the visa must be approved based on savings or passive income sources alone. However, once in Spain, there is no law preventing someone with non-lucrative residency from earning other sources of income, including income from remote work. Can I enroll in Social Security while on a non-lucrative visa? No. This is the main difference between a work residency and a non-lucrative residency. In order to work for a Spanish company, you would need to enroll in the Spanish Social Security system, and this is impossible if you have a non-lucrative residency. If you are working remotely for a company outside Spain, presumably you could pay into the Social Security system in that country. If you plan to stay in Spain long term, you may want to check if Spain has an agreement with your country regarding Social Security, in which case what you pay into in the other country's system may contribute towards benefits in Spain in the future. That said, if you are sure about making a permanent move to Spain, it may be in your interest to start paying into Social Security, Spanish Social Security, as soon as possible, to establish a work history and be eligible for health, unemployment, and retirement benefits. In that case, you may want to consider applying for self-employment visa or other type of visa that gives you a work permit. Do I have to pay taxes in Spain with a non-lucrative visa? Yes. A non-lucrative visa requires you to spend more than half the year, or 183 days, in Spain in order to be eligible to renew. It so happens that anyone who lives in Spain more than 183 days out of the year is required to report worldwide income, including that from remote work and any other foreign income source, on the Spanish tax return. Spainguru has recommended tax experts if you need help with this. Keep in mind that Spain has agreements with many countries in order to avoid double taxation. This will prevent you from paying both countries' tax on the same income. However, you will usually have to pay the higher tax rate. So if you already pay tax on your income in another country and the tax rate for your bracket is higher in Spain, you would have to pay the difference on your Spanish tax return. Can I change my non-lucrative residency status to work residency? Yes, but only after 1 year. That makes the non-lucrative visa a great option for those who have enough savings to fund a year abroad in Spain, but would like to work after that. After your first year in Spain, you can apply for a modification to work residency, either as a self-employed person or as an employee, if you have a job offer. See our residency options page for more information and modifications. When should I start the process of applying for a non-lucrative visa? Applying for the visa must be done in person at your local embassy or consulate. Here's the list for U.S. consulate depending on your state of residency. This should be done at least 3 months before you would like to leave for Spain. We would recommend actually 4 to 5 months before to be safe. Note it can sometimes take weeks or months to get a consular appointment, and your visa application can take up to 2 months to be processed and approved. Make sure to check with your consulate regarding how old your documents can be. They can be sticklers about the issue date. And many require that records such as your health certificate and police background check be no more than 3 months old. The best option is to lock in an appointment date a few months in advance and then work on getting all your paperwork together so that it is not outdated by the time of the appointment. What alternatives are there to the non-lucrative visa for remote workers? There is the self-employment visa. Check out our comprehensive article on how to get a self-employment visa. If you're a freelancer or business owner who wants to be able to work in person with Spanish clients and or start paying into Spanish Social Security right away, this visa type could be a better option for you. Remote workers could use this option if able to work as a contractor for the foreign employer. Second, Digital Nomad visa. This is actually the future. This doesn't exist yet, but the government has announced that they have a plan to introduce a new visa type aimed at digital nomads by 2022. If you can wait, you might consider this option. There are 2 things you can do today, which is number 1, read our article about the new Spanish Digital Nomad visa project, and second, join our Facebook group about Digital Nomad visa to stay out of date. Third, other residency options. There are many other visa types for different situations. Check out our roundup of different popular options for those who want to live in Spain long term. Please keep in mind that all the information provided in this video is based on internet research and should not be considered legal advice. If you need to contact immigration or tax experts, among other services, go to Spainguru.es, where you will find tons of information and links to our recommended partners. Of course, Spainguru's community is really big. There are several Facebook groups that Spainguru moderates. The main one is Spainguru Immigration and Residency Questions, Spainguru.es, that you can find on Facebook with nearly 16,000 members, where you can post your questions and help others. You can actually post your questions anonymously in case you don't want your name to be shown, so people know your situation, and the community will do its best to answer you very quickly. We also have group for Spanish Non Lucrative Visa, which is extremely helpful for people applying for non-lucrative visa right now, as every different consulate have their own perspective on the requirements. So it's really, this is an ever-changing subject, and it helps a lot to be on top of it. And as we said, there is the Spanish Digital Visa Nomad group, in case you are interested to be up to date about this project. There's also something you can do, which is joining our weekly newsletter that we send every Monday. Here's an example of the newsletter, actually, that where we send the top discussions on Spainguru, okay, and the freshest news about Spanish immigration, and this is absolutely for free, and you receive it in your inbox every Monday. That's it. Well, thanks all. Thanks for everything, and thanks for watching. If you like this kind of videos, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button for this video. It really helps us going up in the algorithm. And of course, hit the bell button in order to receive a notification when a new video is uploaded. That's it. This is Bruno from Spainguru. Have a good day. Take care.